to the cage to plan for tomorrow night.
Why? What are we gonna do tomorrow night?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over.
10 years old, but I'll beat your ass.
Welcome to Orsini's Uncensored Mind, and now your host, AJ Orsini.
How the hell is everyone doing out there? This is AJ Orsini, your host of Orsini's Uncensored Mind, as I watch my wife make the coolest face ever just now listening to her intro. She absolutely hates her intro, but I love it. How the hell is everyone doing out there? I just want to let everybody know right off the back as we begin episode 10. This is the 10th episode. I'm in double digits now, which means I've been doing this for 10 weeks, which means I'm an expert already. I've got it all down. No more of that liquid shit. I got everything mapped out exactly the way that I want to do it. My wife's shaking her head no. It's funny. My wife was actually sitting on the couch. You were sitting on the couch for the first episode. You've missed literally all the other ones. But she's been sharing it because she's a lovely wife and she wants to help get her husband's name out there. So there you go. So she's been doing her part. Have you been doing your part? Are you sharing it out? Are you getting the word out on Orsini's Uncensored Mind? I have my doubts, but that's okay because I'm going to have fun here tonight. This is episode 10. I got my wife sitting on the couch chowing down. I got a beer in front of me. Hold on one second. There you go. I got a beer in front of me and I got a lot of notes in front of me, which is something I haven't had in the last few weeks. I had a lot of numbers last week. I was doing the Roman Reigns Grand Slam champion stuff last week. So no numbers this week, but a lot of hot topics that I want to get on, a lot of stuff that I want to discuss, some of it wrestling, some of it not. So suck it up. I'm going to take a swig right now. Celebration for the double digits. So first things first. First thing I want to get to is that I'm actually at a limited audience right now. In the sense of when I start sharing shit on Facebook. I don't know if some of you have been noticing or not, but there's been a purge. I've been purging. I've been asked some questions recently because apparently some people were trying to add me on Facebook because when I share the show out, I share it with my social media links on the hopes that people will see the social media links and you know, follow me and keep on the updates and stuff like that. And I've actually gotten messages every now and then about people who try to add me and they can't. So what they end up doing is following me. So I have like a bunch of follows that are supposed to be ads. And I'm finding out recently that I've hit the maximum 5,000 friends on Facebook, which is kind of cool. And for a split second, I felt like really special about it. I was like, 5,000 friends. That's pretty fucking awesome, right? But I found out that I have actual people who are trying to keep up with this show, trying to add me, and they couldn't. So I decided I was going to go in and just eliminate a few heads just to make some room for the so-called people that were asking me about the ads. So I go in to my Facebook, to my friends list to delete a few people. I started thinking, well, what's the criteria for deletion? Like, how do you determine who gets deleted from Facebook? And I started realizing really fast that the criteria is actually pretty plain and simple because I had people on my friends list who haven't touched Facebook since like 2015 that were on my list. I had Facebook friends that were dead. I didn't even realize this. Like, for the most part, like, there were quite a few people, like, I would go on their Facebook to say, hey, is there any activity here? And the last things on their pages are like, oh, rest in peace, I miss you. And it's like 2015, 2016. I'm like, holy shit, I didn't even know this dude was dead. So I started realizing really fast that there's some open spots available on my Facebook. So I went on and I literally started from A. I started this about a week ago. And the reason why it's taken me a week is because I have other shit in my life to do besides Facebook friends. So it's been about a week. I'm actually down to the lower R's. So if your name is Ryan and you're on my Facebook, I'm looking at you, bro. Like right now, it's where I'm at. So I've gotten down to the R's. I've gone from 5,000, and I think I'm currently at 2,800. I've eliminated like 1,200 people from my Facebook. And it's because of death, Inactivity. I think some people were adding me for the shits and giggles of adding me because I'll have mutual friends with somebody, but they're not even wrestling fans. They're not wrestling fans. They're not sports fans. I curse a lot on this show, and I talk a lot. There's a lot of motherfuckers on this show. So, like, if I had a friend on Facebook that's like not a wrestling fan or a sports fan, but it's all about Jesus and about he's a pastor and he loves his grandchildren and all that shit. Sorry, Paul, but you had to go because you taking up a spot for all these atheist sinners that I have to have on my Facebook page. You're taking up a spot. So I've just been evacuating the dead weight, cutting them off, one after the other. I'm down to about 2,800, and I got to tell you, it feels right. It feels right. When I started purging, I couldn't get on my fucking, the more Facebook friends that loaded on my phone was getting choked up. I have to delete my memory just to continuously go back to delete. It was just eating up data. It was just the weirdest thing. Now that I'm down to 2,800, my phone's feeling a little better. My Candy Crush is loading faster because it doesn't have 8 million fucking people to load. So we're doing good. My phone's healthier. It's trimmed down. Basically, in a nutshell, it's lost some weight. It's trimmed down. It's feeling fit. My phone's doing better than I am right now. So that's my purge right now. So if you're listening to this on the Facebook app, congratulations, you made the cut. If you're not listening to this through the Facebook app, if you're listening through this to podbean.com, thanks for listening. But you have to shape up if you're going to get back on my page. Because ever since I started deleting people, now I'm getting a lot of ads. Now that I have room, I'm getting a lot of ads. But it's all bullshit. It's spam. It's bots. It's people who have 200 mutual friends, but they don't know me from the sack of shit. They live over in fucking Nevada, and they have an artificial leg, and they used to be in the Air Force, and it's just random shit. So back in the day, I used to add for the shits and giggles of adding. I don't take those anymore. Also, side note, a lot of the people that I cut out, unfortunately, are either pro wrestlers or promoters. And the reason why I cut a lot of that shit out is because when I first added them, or if they added me, however the fuck that happened, it was all about networking. Because Facebook is it's a network site. You're supposed to network. You meet people. Hopefully, you get some bookings out of it. Yada yada yada. But it hardly ever happens that way. I really sat down and thought about it. A lot of the bookings that I've gotten over the years was me being aggressive with people, trying to get booked on the show, and people seeking me out to be on the show. I've never once done a Facebook comment on somebody's page and they're like, wow, this guy's really talented. We should book him. It's literally never happened. So I just started shredding the fat, man. A bunch of guys that just don't give a shit about my career, and quite frankly, I don't give a shit about theirs. So let's just go our separate ways and make some room for the real people. So I'm on the lookout right now. I've purged all the dead weight. I'm looking for new, fresh faces. I want people to join up. Sign up to join the Army of O. Get on Facebook, okay? Add me right now. Follow me on the Twitter, okay? Hit me on the IG. Those are the three main ones and the only ones that I really use. I actually have a Tumblr, but I only really have the Tumblr to share shit. I think I explained this a few episodes back. I literally just have it because they said it would help with the circulation of the show. So I don't really put too much on it except for maybe the episodes and a few random pictures here and there. But if you happen to be on Tumblr, that's a way to check me out as well. So let's get into the real shit we're here to talk about today. And it's funny that my wife is sitting here because she was one of the ones that I was talking to about this not so long ago. So Jurassic World trailer hit this past week. I'm a big Jurassic Park fan, always have been, probably always will be, and I'll probably still see this one too. But I could not help but feel like on the podcast I said that Thor Ragnarok scared me. This trailer did not scare me. This trailer pissed me off. I was visibly angry at this fucking trailer. I think this fucking trailer, and I know it's just a teaser. It's not the actual trailer yet, where we're gonna get the information about the plot and all that other stuff. I'm reserving something left for that. But just based on the teaser alone, I don't like this fucking movie at all. Nothing about this piece of shit makes any fucking sense to me. And shoehorning Malcolm back into this situation, Jeff Goldblum back into this movie for admittingly 5 seconds, because Jeff Goldblum did an interview not too long ago where he literally said he's only in the movie for 5 fucking seconds. So the fact that he's a part of the promotional tools is fucking disgusting, because he's not in this movie for very long. So you're teasing the old school fans like myself with garbage. essentially, because none of this plot makes any sense. I don't give a fuck about Blue the Velociraptor. I don't give a fuck about this mysterious volcano that just suddenly developed over this island and is now about to make the dinosaurs extinct for a second fucking time. I mean, that's record setting. Two-time extinction selections. How many species get 2 shots at this? None. That's how dumb the dinosaurs are. They had 2 chances. God made them, if you believe in that sort of thing, right? I'm for the sake of argument, I'm going with the theoretical theory here. God made dinosaur. God killed dinosaur. Man made dinosaur. God tries to kill him again. God has it out for dinosaurs is what I'm trying to tell you, okay? None of this trailer makes any sense. I could go into the specifics, but my fucking head will explode if I do. I don't like the fact that all of a sudden we're having a philosophical debate about the lives of dinosaurs. At what point? This entire franchise has been built around the whole idea that the dinosaurs are property, merchandise. It's always been the discussion. Always. They made that quite clear in part 2. That these things are fucking property, not animals. They've been engineered by man. This is about as clear a debate as there's ever been. If you want to have a conversation about the sanctity of life with concords or the dodo bird or beluga whales or whatever the fuck is going extinct nowadays, you want to have a philosophical debate about that, that's fine. They were created by nature. These things are fucking man-made creations. What the fuck are we having any kind of activistic conversation about? A volcano's going to kill them. Okay, go back to the lab and make another one. That's how we fucking got here in the first place, right? They weren't here anymore. They were dead. We created them again. Now, if you're saying, well, it's not very cost effective. You already have dinosaurs. Just ship them to another fucking island. Okay, but then what? Where do you put these fucking things that they don't cause massive fucking destruction? I was having an argument online about this with one of my buddies. Well, they didn't really cause much destruction if you really think about it. They were acting on instinct when they killed those humans. The humans were the ones doing stupid shit. Fair enough. They were doing stupid shit. They were killed none the fucking less, weren't they? He was bringing up the argument about other animals. Elephants kill more people a day than fucking dinosaurs do. Fair enough. Then kill the fucking elephants then. Put that motherfucker down. I don't give a shit. That's my whole problem with this whole fucking thing. I'm not invested at all in the lives of these fucking dinosaurs. The dinosaurs have been the villains in this movie the entire fucking time. They're the villains. Why the fuck would I give a shit if natural disasters kill them off again? Because Blue will be sad? Fuck Blue. I don't give a fuck about Blue. Fuck Blue in the face. I don't give a shit about Blue. This whole trailer just pissed me off. I wanted to get that off my fucking chest here and now. Because I know certain people who do listen to this podcast always bitch at me when I talk about trailers. How I'm always wishy-washy. No wishy-washy on this one. It fucking sucked. I don't like this fucking trailer, and I hope I don't end up disliking this movie. The first one was okay. I didn't have a problem with it. Made a shitload of money. Did really well. Warranted a sequel. So, hey, fuck it. Anything that puts money in Chris Pratt's fucking pocket, I'm good for it. Guy's a good fucking dude. That'll make some fucking money. So that's my thoughts here. Jurassic World was the Fallen Kingdom. The Fallen Kingdom. How conceited are you? The Fallen Kingdom. Now it's a kingdom. I thought it was a fucking island. Fucking Jurassic World. Fuck Jurassic World. And speaking of Chris Pratt, when he's not fighting dinosaurs, he's wrapped in a magenta leather jacket fighting space criminals out in space in Guardians of the Galaxy, which is owned by who? Marvel, which is owned by who? Disney. Now let's talk Disney/Fox. Have to talk about this. I already brought it up once on the podcast. I brought it up when the initial conversation started. When I brought it up the first time, the conversations had started, but they died out. The conversations had gone still. As a matter of fact, Fox was talking to Disney. Disney got quiet. They decided to put the talks on hold, but then Fox started talking to Comcast. Now, before I go on any further with this, the Comcast deal to me makes more sense than the Disney deal. If I'm Fox. If I'm Fox, Comcast makes more sense. But I don't think Comcast has the pockets that Disney has. Because I'm looking over my notes here. Everything that Fox is trying to sell, all right, talks have progressed and the deal could be announced as early as next week's, sources tell CNBC. The enterprise value of the Fox assets and the deal is seen as more than $60 billion. Fox is trying to sell $60 billion worth of media and material. And they're trying to do this. I'm going to safely assume that $60 billion figure came from Fox. They are the ones who are probably setting that price tag. I don't think people would be sharing out the negotiation numbers. That has to be the price tag they're setting. $60 billion. And that's $60 billion not including, I'll read the rest here. Fox would sell movie and television production assets and keep its news, sports, and broadcast networks. They have to keep those those three entities because of the whole monopoly thing when it comes to television. That's the FCC's whole deal. But they would be able to purchase movie and television production assets, which means the FX network and all of its sub-networks, the National Geographic channel. And as far as the television, the movie rights, let's just talk about the movie rights you actually give a shit about. Okay, and what you actually give a shit about are the three major franchises, X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Deadpool. With the purchase, Disney would have access to these entities. Okay, and that's what everyone's jizzing their fucking pants about. Personally, I would also like to see that happen because I would love to see the X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Deadpool be involved in everything that's maybe not Deadpool. I like the fact that Deadpool was R-rated. For some reason, if Disney gets its hands on it, I don't see them getting X-rated with Deadpool. And even if they did, they're probably going to get a gigantic Woody and try to shoehorn Deadpool into something involving with the Avengers, which would completely nullify the R rating. They can't do anything Avenger related that's going to be R rated. You can't mix with that mix. It's $1 billion mix. You can't mess with that. Deadpool did well, but not 2 point whatever billion Avengers did. So you're looking at a PG-13 Ryan Reynolds, which is useless to everybody. Okay, so with Disney now back into negotiations, Comcast now has bailed out, which means that's probably where that $60 billion price tag comes in. If Comcast took a fucking seat, that means Disney. That's why everyone's so excited, because it seems like a foregone conclusion at this point that Fox is going to make the sale. I have one question, and it's a rhetorical question. I legitimately just want it answered. Why the fuck would they sell in the first place? Are they losing money? Is business down? What would be the point? Or did Disney just show interest in buying it, and Fox is just inflating the numbers? Well, fuck it. They won't buy it for $60 million, surely. Weird game of money chicken? I don't know. But what ends up happening here is that if Disney does come through with this deal, they would pretty much monopolize a lot of the most important shit going on right now in movies and television. Disney would own just about, 75%, we can say safely, of whatever the fuck is on your TV. And they would probably do more money than anybody else in the movie theater for the next 20 years if they make this sale. $60 billion is a lot of fucking money, but it's probably going to be on the cheap compared to, so you figure $60 billion for that sale. Avengers 1 did 2 point something billion. That's one movie. That's one fucking movie making it into the billions category. One. Avengers got very close. Age of Ultron got very close. I believe also either 1 billion or close to it. And now Infinity War, people are already predicting Infinity War alone might even surpass the first fucking movie. They're aiming for Avatar money, is what Infinity War is doing. And now we know that the secret is out. Now we know why they backtrack so heavily on that part 2. Because the initial Phase 3 announcement had Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. It was broken up, Harry Potter style. It was broken up. 2018 would be Part 1. 2019 would be Part 2. Okay? They have since backed off on that. It's no longer Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. This is the movie coming out this May is Avengers Infinity War, end of discussion. And then the fourth movie, as of right now, is literally labeled Avengers 4. That's it. It's just an unknown title. And now we know why. Now we know why they didn't go through with their plans to film both movies at the same time. Now we know why they've been putting off production on all the other Phase 4 movies. Now we know why everything's taking place. Because if they get their hands on this project, if they get their hands on these entities, on X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Deadpool, that blows everything out of the fucking water. Whatever their fucking plans were, it's gone. It's scrapped. Now, I don't think Kevin Feige is dumb enough to blow his load on one fucking movie. I think if you get your hands on X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Deadpool, there's no fucking way you put all of those entities all into the same fucking film. No fucking way. But Wolverine, like certain X-Men, certain members of the Fantastic Four, which is going to be tough to explain because fucking Captain America is fucking Johnny Storm on the Fantastic Four. And I know what you're thinking. Well, he's not the only Johnny Storm. Michael B. Jordan played the other one. But he's on Black Panther now. So who the fuck plays? They have to recast the whole fucking thing like they did fucking Spider-Man. All previous Johnny Storms currently have jobs with the MCU. So now they'd have to completely rehaul the whole thing again. They'd have to, I mean, Ryan Reynolds is pretty much married to Deadpool as his, so you'd have to definitely bring him in. Hugh Jackman is already on paper saying he'd love to come back as Wolverine if they do the X-Men with the Avengers. So much for that Logan retirement. Patrick Stewart also said the same thing. He'd come back as Xavier if needed. I don't think he's needed though. I like James McAvoy as Professor X. I don't know if I want Patrick as much as I love me some Patrick Stewart. I love me some Stewie, but no, James McAvoy is my guy right now. James McAvoy. All right, so there's a lot of question marks still. I saw some things online about people being excited about the deal. It's not an official deal. They have not made that official. It's still in talks, but the feel that people are getting right now is it's as good as fucking done. So that should be something to keep an eye on. I'm gonna keep on this, and if anything else pops up about it, I'll talk about it here. But I'm nervous as all hell. I don't like monopolies. I don't like when one entity pretty much controls everything. I'm not a fan of that. If we're gonna get some good movies out of it, sure, why not? Cool, but man, I mean, so many things can go wrong when one man wields all that power. When you're the CEO of Disney, I mean, you've got to be drunk. You have got to literally have toilet paper on your private plane made specifically of $100 bills. Like, and then you have extras, like in the cupboards. And the cupboards are stacks and stacks of $100 bills waiting to be used for your buttocks. That's how much money you make when you're with Disney. So that's that. We'll keep an eye on that. Another thing that we have to keep our eye on, we're going to start steering into the wrestling stuff now. I'm not the biggest, and I've said this before, I'm not the biggest New Japan Pro Wrestling guy. I'm not. I've seen some matches that I liked. I've seen some matches I did not like. I'm actually glad that my wife is here because she can vouch for it. Me and my wife sat through Wrestle Kingdom 9, which is their WrestleMania show. We were up till 1, 2 in the morning watching this shit? Shit was like a 17-hour fucking show. It had like 18 fucking matches on it. The first 4 matches were like 10-man scrambles or some shit like that. Now, when it got to the end, it got nice. The show was, the main events were great. They always delivered. Kota Ibushi is one of my favorites. Obviously, Shinsuke was one of my favorites till he came to the WWE. I like Okada. I like Omega. And I've said it here on the show. Great match earlier this year. 6 stars is a little much. 6 stars is a little much. And I actually put it on social media today. I'm trying to get ideas here for an end of the year award thing, match of the year, performer of the year, female performer of the year, and that Okada Omega match is getting a lot of love, so I may have to include it in my final slot here, even though it's not my favorite match of the year. But if it's going to be the popular vote, then it's going to be the popular vote. I'm thinking about doing it 2 ways: my votes and then your votes, just so we can have a little difference of opinion here. Because I think I'm going to have a difference of opinion of a lot of people when it comes to who's been the best this year. But let's stick to New Japan for just a second, because obviously at the tip of everyone's tongue, the program that everyone's talking about, the one that everyone's excited for, Chris Jericho, back in New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's not a tease. It's not a what if. It's for real. And if you didn't believe it was for real with the countdown video, him being in Japan, him making that appearance just the other day, attacking Kenny Omega, doing what he did, that shit's fucking official. That's not even well, what kind of a situation are we gonna have? Wrestle Kingdom, and I know people compare it to WrestleMania. They say, "Wait, so Wrestle Kingdom is New Japan's WrestleMania." I don't really compare the two. I think they're both very good shows for what they are. I've obviously attached to WrestleMania. It's my holy day. My day of worship is WrestleMania. But New Japan has an amazing show with an amazing company over in Japan, and I just don't like the comparison between the two. There really are two different shows, and any real fan of New Japan will probably tell you that, and they would probably be insulted if you compared it to fucking WrestleMania. But Chris Jericho's back. They said it on the show. It had been about 20 years since Chris Jericho had done anything in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He had made a few tours outside of the New Japan promotion, not just with WWE, but other promotions as well. They said about 20 years, and he has made it official. He's there. So for those of you living under the rock, let's set it up from the beginning here. Kenny Omega right now is probably one of their, if not the top stars in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Obviously, Okada is the champion, so you'll give him the nod. But for the most part, Kenny's really doing some great work over there. He's the first ever and current IWGP United States champion, and he's been doing some great shit with that belt and putting it on the line against Gaijin and Japanese homegrown stars. And he's been having some great matches. So Wrestle Kingdom 12 is coming up. January 4th, same place, same time, Tokyo Dome. And they usually sell that bitch out every Wrestle Kingdom from what I hear. I have my doubts from when I saw Wrestle Kingdom 9, but I'll take the Mark's word for it. They usually do a great house for Wrestle Kingdom. And I don't think they're concerned about the house. I don't think this matchup is for the house. I think Wrestle Kingdom sells itself. I think this matchup is, and I may be speaking out of the duh school here, but I think this matchup is for the subscriptions. I really do. Because for the first time in my life, I actually considered it. I'm not going to do it, but I did consider it. For a quick minute, I did honestly consider, all right, this is a pretty big matchup. Kenny Omega right now is as hot as anybody in the business. Chris Jericho is Chris Jericho. He's a GOAT. He's one of the best of all time, or one of the greatest of all time. And these two colliding, I have my doubts. I've seen this guy, Chris Jericho, go into the ring with some great athletes in the WWE and just look, I don't know, off, slow. You know, we've had the joke going around, you know, Grandpa Jericho. You know, and I don't want him to be embarrassed. But then that was my thought when I saw the initial video. So okay, Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega's coming. I don't know, man. Omega's playing on a different level right now. He's on a different level from a lot of active guys right now, full-time active guys, let alone Chris Jericho. So to see Chris Jericho come back and do the video, I was like, yes, that's a great matchup. If done right, it's a great matchup. And that was it. And I just thought, man, I don't know. Kenny's on a whole other level right now. I don't know if Jericho's keeping up. And I must not have been the only one that thought that. Because now we fast forward, Kenny Omega post-match, he helps the Bullet Club with a big matchup against Roppongi. And actually, wait, was it? It was a trios match, Roppongi, 3K, and Rocky Romero. When another Jericho video appeared on the screen. Okay, so we're doing the mock clap. We're talking about how he's gonna beat his ass. Yada 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 yada. We go back to the ring, and Kenny's looking up at the screen, and standing behind Kenny Omega is the Alpha, not Y2J, the Alpha, Chris Jericho. And then boom, Kenny walks around. Kenny turns around, hit quick with the code breaker. He gets dropped. Okay, so he starts putting the beating on him. He takes the United States Championship belt. He's beating him in the head with it. Bloody mess. We've got some color here from Kenny Omega. I don't know if I've ever seen color on Kenny Omega before. I don't really take him for much of a bleeder. But this feud definitely called for it. I could tell the whole room just got serious when this happened. I guess that's the beauty of not doing it all the time, which is a conversation for another day. God, I hate that shit. But it worked great here. And he Codebreaker, U.S. title, bloody heap. All of a sudden, we got a referee coming in. He gets it. One of the young boys comes in. He gets it. I mean, Jericho was just going ape shit here. And then all of a sudden, one of the English commentators, Don Callis, better known to WWE fans as Jackal from back in the day, he's doing some big things behind the scenes, and he's actually being the one credited. Chris Jericho is actually the one crediting Don for bringing him into New Japan, and he lays him out. Jericho lays out Callis in the middle of the ring. Code Breaker puts him down. Callis does the stretcher job. He gets pulled out. I mean, Jericho comes off looking like a serious badass. This is not the Grandpa Jericho we all know and love from the WWE, taking a backseat to Owens, and he's not talking about lists and nothing. No, he came into the ring and he beat the shit out of Kenny Omega. And there was a little awkward exchange with the Bucks. Like, they got in there real quick, and I think they had, like, weapons in their hands or whatever. Jericho couldn't powder fast enough. I guess he just kind of got caught by a surprise. But this whole Jericho-Omega situation is, I don't know, it's got me in a weird place because I haven't seen Jericho like this in a long time. I think he looks better. I think he feels better. I really think he's happy to change some shit up. Now, I know he had the loyalty angle thing going for a while there. I mean, he had a lot of opportunities to do shit outside of the WWE before, when he was not on contract. You know, he had some TNA opportunities. Back when TNA mattered, he had some TNA opportunities. He's had some Ring of Honor opportunities. He's had some chances here, but he always considered himself a WWE guy. He treats himself like a top dog, and that's kind of what happens. But now he's doing some shit with New Japan. You can take a swig real quick. Now he's doing the deal with New Japan, and he's starting off with Kenny Omega. Now, this is going to be a real test. See if Grandpa Jericho can keep up. I will eat my words. If Jericho can go in there with a performer the caliber of a Kenny Omega and come out with a 25, 30-minute exhibition that really cements this guy's fucking legacy, I'm going to have a hard time not including Chris Jericho in that all-time conversation. I really am. Because before the WWE, he was already a world traveler. Before he got there. Then to go to the WWE and be as successful as he was for as long as he was. Because that's my argument when it comes to, when you talk about great, to me, you got to be great for a long period of time. The longer, the better. That's included in great, to me. I mean, you can have an amazing 4 or 5 year career, but if you only had it for 4 or 5 years, I'm always going to give the nod to the guy that did it 2025. I just always am. And I think that's just the worker in me, just having respect for the person that's sacrificed for as long as they did. You know, Stone Cold Steve Austin had a hell of a fucking run. But even Steve will tell you, I didn't have the run that a lot of guys had because I got hurt. My career got cut short. So there are a lot of people out there that really consider Stone Cold one of the greatest of all time. I'm in that list, but he won't consider himself because he didn't have the run. There were a lot of guys that he worked against that had the run. You know, the Bret Harts, the Ric Flairs of the world, they had runs for a long time, which was something he should have had, but the fact is he didn't. So it's the same deal here. You know, Jericho's been doing this a long fucking time. And I know he's been taking a lot of breaks recently in the last few years, but even fucking still, whenever he comes back, he is instrumental. He makes an impact every fucking time. So this is going to be a great opportunity for Chris Jericho. It's going to be a great opportunity for Kenny Omega. And the reason why I say this is because I'm not a proponent of coming to the WWE simply to come to the WWE. I used to be. When I was a kid and I wasn't in the business and I just didn't know any better, I just always assumed the WWE was the end-all be-all. I just assumed everybody in this business would give their left nut or their left ovie to be in the WWE. Ever since I joined the business, ever since I started working in the business full time, I've learned a heavy lesson in being careful of what you wish for. Because I have heard a lot of stories from a lot of guys that really wanted to fucking be there and then got there and were fucking miserable. And then they come back to the indies or to, you know, the more intimate shows, the spot shows, outlaw shows as the old guard calls them. And man, their fucking stories are horrific. You should listen to some of the shit these guys say. It's kind of terrifying, really. So I'm not a big proponent of going to the WWE specifically just to go. And I don't get the vibe from Kenny that he really wants to fucking be there. I really feel, and I might agree with this feeling, that if he went to the WWE, they'd have no fucking clue how to use him. And he might be right. Kenny's kind of an out there, he's kind of an out there personality. Look at the shit that he's done. I mean, yes, you can hold the blow up doll against him. You can hold the 9-year-old girl against him. Those were bad fucking decisions. I know that he was doing whatever he had to do to pay dues and yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, those were bad fucking decisions. And now that he's making such a great run, it's shit like that really put a fucking damper on the great shit he's doing now. Because he's doing great shit right now. He's having great matches. He's telling great stories in Japan. So it's not like, he's a Canadian at birth. He's been raised in Canada. But I've recently noticed he seems at least mildly fluent in the language. He speaks Japanese. He speaks in English to the audience. He's having great matches with literally everyone. He's hot. He's hot right now. But then you have that resume of all that other shit, and it puts a damper on it. So I think this matchup with Jericho, while he doesn't really want to go to the WWE, I think this matchup with Jericho is going to prove a lot. Because if he can go in there with a guy like Chris, who is, not in his prime, but still very physical and capable to go, and knows how to perform not only in a wrestling ring in America or in the WWE, but he knows how to perform in a Japanese ring. He's been there before. Now, I know it's been a long time. The people that Jericho wrestled in front of 20 years ago are not in the audience now. And just like American audiences, the Japanese audience has evolved somewhat as well. There's a reason that all these guys, all of a sudden, most of the New Japan Pro Wrestling roster now is so many Americans, it's ridiculous. There never used to be this many. And they all got belts, which is even scarier. So this is going to be a great opportunity for Kenny to prove that he can go in there with a WWE guy, a high-level WWE guy, and still put on a performance that, while maybe different from the usual match that he has, can still be a great, fun, entertaining fucking match. He's not getting into the ring with Jericho and pulling off the shit that he did with Okada. No fucking way. They have to have a different type of match, and they will. It's still going to be a great fucking match. I think they're going to be able to go in there, methodically work that audience into a frenzy, get to that big payoff at the end, and boom, they're going to have a classic match. But if you're expecting these two to just fucking fight or to just run spot after spot, that's not going to fucking happen. Not between Kenny and not between Chris. Chris is a smart, savvy veteran. He's going to give Kenny the kind of match that Kenny, in my opinion, needs. He needs to be able to go in there and put on a match without all the gimmicks, without 15 V-triggers, without 13 one-winged angels. He needs to be able to go in there and tell a story and be able to give you a match that you can enjoy without murdering himself. If he can do that, then he's going to be in the conversation for a while of great performers in the world today. He already considers himself the best wrestler in the world. He has a long line of fans that are right there with him, that agree with him. But this match, in my opinion, is going to help prove that, because he's going to get a different type of match from Chris Jericho. A different match that he gets from Okada, a different match that he gets from Naito, a different match that he gets from Suzuki, a different match that he gets from Tanahashi, and definitely a different match that he gets from Ibushi. He's going to get a different match than he's ever gotten from any of those guys. Tanahashi may be the closest, because the Ace can do that. He can dig into his bag of tricks and give you a very methodical, technical storytelling match. He tends not to, depending on the opponent, but he can. And I know that Omega is kind of a 200-mile-per-hour performer. But if he can give you the same value at half the speed, that's going to go a long way. Not just for his career, but for his bank account. Because now we can put trust in him that he's not going to burn out. He can get into the ring, work smart, and have great matches. Then I will give him 6 stars. If he can go in there with Chris Jericho and do it the right way, man, that's going to be a dangerous a dangerous fucking time. All right, so Jericho and Omega, again, that's going to be January 4th at Wrestle Kingdom 12 on New Japan World on their network. You can get the subscription information by Googling that. They're not a paid sponsor of mine, so I'm not going to sit here and plug the shit out of their social media all goddamn day. But that's how that goes. So, I'm going to take another swig here. A bit of the alcohol. Very nice. So now that I'm talking about all these different things that aren't me, let's talk a little bit about me. The host of the motherfucking show. So, once again, my name is AJ Orsini, and for those of you who do not know, I started professionally full-time. I've had other experiences, but full-time, booking every fucking weekend, working in the wrestling business in 2011. Traveled around quite a bit, worked with a lot of fucking people. But one of the biggest and one of the best and one of the most fun places that I have ever worked in my entire fucking life is, in my opinion, the best professional wrestling organization in my hometown of New York City, where I live and where I raise my son and where I have all of my life right here in New York City, is House of Glory. Hog, baby. House of Glory has been in operation since about 2010. 2011. I think it's 2010. And they've been around for a minute. And I joined them in 2012. And I worked with them up until last year, which would make it a 4-year run. So 7 years they've been in operation. I was with them for 4 years. And the only reason that my tenure at House of Glory ended was because of some personal things at home that I needed to take care of. I'm actually still taking care of them, which kind of sucks. So everything ended on good terms. I have no heat whatsoever with House of Glory. From what I understand, they have no heat with me. So that makes what I'm about to do right now a little dash of old school flavor. So I used to do I opened up this show with a little segment called Weekend Warrior, where I would plug a local wrestling show and tell you guys all about it. And I haven't done one in a while for two major reasons. One, I just don't feel like plugging just anybody. It has to be a special show. And to me, it has to be a good show, a show that I know people are going to enjoy and people are going to have fun attending. And it's going to be a memorable experience. I'm not plugging shows for the shits and giggles of plugging shows. Because remember, I'm not getting paid to plug any fucking shows. I'm doing this out of the goodness of my fucking heart because I want people to go enjoy good damn wrestling. So I haven't done one in a while. As a matter of fact, I think I've only done the one, which was episode 1. So here we are, episode 10. And here we go again because House of Glory has their big 7th year anniversary show. They're calling it Hog 7. It's their 7th anniversary show. I have had the privilege of calling a lot of great matches at House of Glory, and I did that for like I said, 4 years. I've called some of their best matches, and I know a lot of the guys there, and I have quite the tie with them. They have been as beneficial to my career as anybody, and their big anniversary show is coming up December 16th at the NYC Arena or Club Amazura. It's a dual name. I don't know how else to explain it. I always had trouble explaining it to people when they were asking for directions. Technically speaking, it's Club Amazura, but we refer to it as the NYC Arena. Even if you Google it, if you Google NYC Arena, it comes up. So I think they've kind of jumped on the bandwagon too of the NYC Arena. But yes, it's called the NYC Arena or Club Amazura, depending on how you want to work your GPS. Tickets for this event are on sale now. I don't know how many are left. From what I understand, I believe the first few fucking rows are sold out. They have like a tier pricing thing, and they already sold out from the first 4 or 5 rows. And there's a lot of freaking rows too. The building is amazing. It's one of the most beautiful buildings I've ever worked in. I have a ton of pictures that I'll be posting on social media soon with me calling those matches or at me just at events doing shit at Club Amazura. Great, beautiful building. And speaking of which, they have a lot of special things going on, which is why I wanted to bring attention to this. I wanted to talk about this show. Not just because I have a history with them, man, but because just in general, I love talking about great wrestling shows. If I had no history with this company, I would still be talking about it. And my evidence is my first one was Capital Wrestling. I have no connection to Capital Wrestling at all, with the exception of I'm friends with the promoter. That's it. I've never worked for them. I did not get paid to plug them, and I'm not getting paid or anything for plugging Hog. I just want to plug them because it's a great fucking show. So the show starts at 6 p.m., but you're going to want to get there earlier. And the reason for that is because they're doing a meet and greet at 4 p.m. at Club on Missouri. They're doing a meet and greet with a lot of their stars. They have special guests coming, Zack Sabre Jr. They have the TRL title fight. I'm going to get into that in a little bit too. I'll explain what the hell that is. But their biggest surprise, well, not really a surprise, he's been advertised for forever, but one of the biggest things that you can experience at Hog on December 16th, they have a special guest coming for that meet and greet. Very special guest. I wonder if I can find a way to... Who is that guest? Woo! Yes. Absolutely yes. 16 times yes. Woo! The Nature Boy will be in the house at Club Missouri at the NYC Arena. That is no joke, folks. The 16-time world champion, father of current WWE SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte, Ric Flair, will be in the building. He will be a part of that meet and greet at 4 p.m. He will also be a part of the show in some capacity, I am sure. No superstar. And I've done a lot of shows with House of Glory. Rob Van Dam, Rey Mysterio. We've done a lot of meet and greets. Well, not we, them. I can't include myself in that anymore. But they've done a lot of meet and greets where the person comes at a certain time to do the autographs. And then people just assume they're gone. And then they're back and they're doing something else with the show. And I'm sure Ric Flair will have more of a role than just signing some autographs. He's going to have pictures. He's going to have merch. And he's going to do something with that show. I promise you, Hog's got something up their sleeve. They always bust out the cool shit for these big shows. As far as the card goes, so far we have the last man standing match between Cash Flow Ken Broadway against Leroy Green. For those of you who are unaware, Ken Broadway used to be a part of a group called Cash Flow, and Ken was the leader, and he had a lot of compatriots to it. And Leroy Green was a young, not to steal a New Japan term, but he was kind of one of the young boys that Ken was bringing along. There was some moral issues going on between the two, and Ken started with the bullying, and Leroy Green didn't want to stand for it. And eventually, the man grew a set, stood up for himself. I'm happy for Leroy. I've been a Leroy guy since the beginning. Love that kid. But Ken's taken that problem, I guess you could say, that he has with Leroy a little too far. And his little Mexican jumping bean buddy, Matt Travis, a former buddy of mine, I should say. They've had problems with Leroy for, I don't know, well over a year now. So it looks like it's finally culminating, finally coming to an end. Ken Broadway versus Leroy Green, last man standing match. That's going to go down December 16th. We have the MTV TRL title fight. For those of you who have not been keeping up with TRL and MTV, and why would you? Because I don't know, reasons. But for those of you who have not been keeping up with it, shame on you, because they've been showcasing some very interesting stuff. One of which is they actually had House of Glory's very own Caveman on the show, and he went one-on-one with the Lifeguard in a gimmick situation, and Caveman walked out the MTV TRL title champion with the TRL title fight. I can't. What the hell is this thing called? MTV TRL title. That's what I'm calling it. Okay, and they're gonna have a fight, an actual match, Caveman and Lifeguard, where that championship will be on the line. I don't know if it's sanctioned in a real championship, but doggone it, it's going to be on the line as Caveman goes against Lifeguard. I love the Caveman. I love him very much. He's a very confused individual. Quick story about the caveman. I actually have a hog story with the caveman. We had a little situation, and this is a little behind the curtain, but we had a little situation with some traffic. I do believe it was the Rob Van Dam show. We did a show with Rob Van Dam where Rob Van Dam was going to go against the Amazing Red. Awesome match. But Rob was stuck in a little bit of traffic, so we wanted to start the show a little late, and we needed to buy some time. And I was doing some things in the ring, trying to keep the crowd entertained. It's what I do. I entertain, and I was just trying to do my thing. And some of the boys were walking around the ring, trying to keep the fans, into what we were doing. And Caveman's walking around, and and he starts dancing, like bopping or whatever. Because the DJ was playing music, and he just starts bopping, and there's this little kid in the front row who's kind of bopping with him, and then all of a sudden, what was that song? Whippin' Nene. The Whippin' Nene comes on, and the kid starts doing the Whippin' Nene. So he starts doing the Whippin' Nene, and Caveman's just looking at him like he's fucking crazy, like he doesn't know what to make of it. So I hop out of the ring, and I start talking to the kid. And I said, hey, you got some slick moves here. Would you be interested in trying to teach Caveman how to do the Whippin' Nene? And the kid was all about it. He's like, yeah, we could definitely do that. So the kid comes over the rail, and we literally do 15 or 20 minutes of this kid teaching Caveman how to Whippin' Nene. And actually pulls it off. He actually does it at the end, and the fucking building erupts. The place goes nuts. It was an awesome moment. That building had a lot of people in it. It was a packed house that night, and I just remember feeling so great that this kid got a moment in front of all those people. It wasn't shy at all, by the way. There had to be like over 1,000 people. Hog pulls in a big crowd for New York anyway, but it's a big crowd, and they always have great houses. And that particular one was pretty cool because we were able to give this kid 10, 15 minutes of infamy in that building. He was the talk of the whole night. So that was a great moment. I love the Caveman for that. Caveman was good for that kind of stuff. He was a very family-friendly guy, but he can also be really mean when he turns it on. So hopefully he turns it on. The main event for this show is for the House of Glory World Heavyweight Championship, and I know that I call it the Heavyweight Championship. They don't call it the Heavyweight Championship. They call it the House of Glory Championship. It's a problem that I had when I was on commentary because I would constantly call it the Heavyweight Championship because to me it is. And it is a world title. I know that's also thrown around a lot, but a lot of guys, a lot of fans don't realize that House of Glory Championship is indeed a world travel title. Its original champion, Ricochet, took that belt all over the world. And we've had a few champions since that have done the same. EC3 took that belt with him back to Impact Wrestling. I mean, it's been around. That championship has been around. So it is, in my opinion, a recognized world title. And the confusion with the heavyweight stuff, well, not every heavyweight wins the title, so we leave it at championship. In my opinion, and it's just my opinion, it's why I say it. And I don't encourage anyone else to say it unless you believe it. To me, it's a heavyweight championship. If you're the champion and you're prepared to go against any and all comers of that weight division, you're a heavyweight champion. Now, I know Amazing Red himself is not a heavyweight, but I've seen him defend that championship against several heavyweights. So you're in the heavyweight division in my eyes. So you're the world's heavyweight champion. Amazing Red to me right now is the world's heavyweight champion. Now, the Amazing Red is the world champion, and it's for the title. He'll be defending against Zack Sabre Jr. Now, Zack Sabre Jr. is a bit of a mystery to me because I wasn't the biggest fan of his for a long time. He has quickly, this is overnight, just won me the fuck over. He's just an amazing athlete. His timing is impeccable. His technique is impeccable. And boy, did he dodge a bullet and a half not signing that 205 Live contract. Boy, did he dodge a bullet. A real bullet. He dodged it, man. he made a great career choice. He's got a lot of time left. He's still young. He's got a lot left to do. He doesn't need to be at the WWE. It goes back to what I was saying before about going to the WWE for shits and giggles. It's not needed. Do whatever it is you feel like you need to do. And he's doing it. So congrats to that. He's going to be in the main event of this show against the Amazing Red. Not his debut, Zack Sabre Jr. He's been here before. He's fought some of Hogg's best, man. He's been in there with Broadway. I believe he was in there with Gangone. So he's got some Hogg experience. This is going to be an interesting match. Speaking of which, they had a late-breaking announcement as of yesterday. Yeah, late-breaking. This happened yesterday. The wrestling god, Anthony Gangone, the only Grand Slam champion in House of Glory history. This guy's one of the most decorated performers in this company. He's been here since day one. Anthony Gangone, I've said it on commentary 1,000 times. Anthony Gangone was the original student. There was House of Glory, there was Red, there was Brian, and then there was Gangone. Like, he's been literally there since day one. So it's not just the 7th anniversary for House of Glory, it's the 7th anniversary for Anthony Gangone as well. And he's going to go one-on-one with the superhero Monty. And I don't know if Gangone is going to be that focused on Monty. I just mentioned a second ago, Red is the champion. Red beat Gangone for that title. And I know that is not sitting well at all with Anthony Gangone. And I'm sure for the 7th anniversary, he is not happy where he's positioned. I think he knows for a fact that he should have been in that final match with Zack Sabre Jr. for the championship. And he may take that out on Monty. And now for Monty on his side, this is a big opportunity for Monty. I know the Super Savages were a big deal. I had a little bit of something to do with that tag team a long time ago. I have my history with them. I love those guys as a team. But the New York Wrecking Crew did exactly what they're named to do, and that's wreck. They wrecked all of that. And they kept their tag team championship, and the Savages are done. They are no longer a team. Hence why Caveman is in one match and Monty's in another. So the team thing is in the past. This is an opportunity for Monty to prove himself as a performer on his own. And he's going against one of the best of all time. He's in there with one of the best House of Glory wrestlers of all time in Anthony Gangone. So if Monty wants to be in that upper echelon, this is his chance to prove it. He's got to get in there and he's got to beat Anthony Gangone. So this is this House of Glory show, Hog 7, December 16th. You can go to houseofglorywrestling.net to learn about all the different things going on with House of Glory. You can get information on their school, which is an amazing, no pun intended, an amazing school. I tell people all the time, the House of Glory Wrestling School is not just for people who want to be wrestlers. I tell people all the time, even if you're a wrestler, pay the money and just learn from these people, because Red and Brian just have an amazing sense for this business. They always have. They've been in this business. I mean, what? We're looking at almost 2 decades now, and not only have they left their mark as performers, but they're leaving it now as promoters. And I used to have this conversation with Red all the time. I started off as a fan, and my wife's favorite wrestler when we first started dating, because she wasn't really much of a fan until she met me. Her favorite wrestler when she first started wrestling with me was Red. She liked the fact that he was little and jumped around and was super athletic, and he was always one of my favorite performers as well when I was a fan. And then you fast forward all these years later, and now I'm working for him, and that was amazing for me. Not just as a professional, but as a person, as a fan, to be able to go under the tutelage of Red and for Brian as well. Brian was also another guy that I always used to look at, and I used to always just say to myself, this guy he doesn't know how to have a bad match. He just would go in there and just have these amazing matches with Red and Divine and Storm and the SATs and just the whole group, the whole stable. I've told this story in interviews before in the past. The match that made me want to join the wrestling business, the match that I saw that made me want to be in the indies, was that infamous 6-man tag from back in the day, the original SAT, Jose, Joel, and Red against Divine, Storm, and XL. And that to me is one of my favorite 6-man tag team matches of all time. It's one of my favorite indie matches of all time. And it was the match that really pushed me. So my original trek into this business was with the SATs, and then I went from the SATs to Excel and Red. So that's fucking full circle shit, man. That really is. And that shit didn't come easy. I had to fucking work at House of Glory, bro. I had to work. I was not given an opportunity at House of Glory for free. You know, I went from literally setting up chairs, taking photos, filming segments, to assisting with equipment and I mean the bare bottom minimum stuff, all the way up to interviewer, ring announcer, and then eventually the lead play-by-play guy. I mean that's within the span of 4 years, just working and putting in the time. And Red and Brian I was already doing stuff in the business before I got there. I really didn't need to be there. I really wanted to be there. And they didn't really need to have me. They wanted to have me there. That was what made the relationship so great between myself and House of Glory. You know, neither one really needed the other, but definitely wanted. I wanted to be there more than anything. I wanted to help House of Glory grow. House of Glory really wanted to help me grow as a performer. They made me a better performer. They made me better in the ring. They made me better in front of the camera. And more importantly, they gave me a better appreciation for this business. So even though I'm not with them, I will always be indebted to them. And I'm saying this to you guys as the fans to support this company. Support them big time because they're a great company. They're making a lot of noise right now, and there's a lot of guys in the Northeast scene right now who are making a name for themselves through this company. So the more support, the better. So that's, again, I'll say it one last time, December 16th at the NYC Arena. And Ric Flair, Zack Sabre Jr., Caveman, Monty, I mean, other people are coming as well. Private Party, the House of Glory Crown Jewel champion, Evander James, who's just one of the top talents in the city right now. I miss that guy. He's one of the coolest bros of all time. Is Evander James. I know his attitude is a little bit much now. He wants everybody to trust him, and he's got that dastardly Matthew Ryan Shapiro in his corner. But attitude or not, he's one of the best athletes in the city right now. And TJ Marconi and Big Brian Burgandy, you know, the Masons. There's a lot of stuff going on. And yes, I did just censor myself right now because I'm trying to be serious about this. There's a lot of stuff going on. Again, the meet and greets at 4 o'clock. Show will start at 6, and it'll go on till question marks. So that is what's going on with that. So I had fun with this. This is episode 10. A lot of shit. many shits here at the Orsini's Uncensored Mind. So episode 10's in the books. I had fun. I'm going to finish this can off, and then I got some Chinese food waiting for me, and then I'm going to hit the hay. I'm going down. I'm going to take this. Here we go. All right. Ooh, back just cracked. All right. So that's episode 10, folks. I will be back next week with episode 11. Update on the equipment. Black Friday might have been a success. So definitely want to start doing some interviews. Definitely want to start having some other people on the show, getting some other voices. If there's someone you guys want me to interview or bring onto the show, please email me, ajorcd96host@gmail.com, or message me directly on Facebook, or on the page, Twitter or Instagram or whatever. Just get the information to me. Who do you want to hear from? Who do you want me to talk to and bullshit with? And so just let me know. All right? Cool. So, episode 10's in the books. Peace. I'm out.
Please listen to my daddy show.
Please listen to my husband's show.